So this wonderful band has people in it with many, many talents. And we discovered that our tuba player, Larry Iwan, is a didgeridoo specialist. And so we've asked him to come up and kind of give you a didgeridoo. Some of you may have heard it before, some of you have never seen it. I'm going to let Larry give you the introduction to it and tell you all about it. This is Larry Iwan.
Thank you. Well, I know this is a culturally sophisticated town, but I would like to add just a little bit more to your cultural sophistication, those of you who haven't seen or heard a didgeridoo before, by introducing you to one of my favorite instruments, the didgeridoo. When the Aboriginal Australian settlers first came to the continent more than 50,000 years ago, I often wondered how long it took them to learn that inside the eucalyptus trees, the termites were chewing out a hollowed-out center. And if they cut the trunk of these trees and put their lips to it, they could buzz. I imagine it didn't take them long to learn to buzz these hollow logs and to create the voice of the earth, the sounds of the environment around them, the birds, the winds, the tides, all the things that they encountered in their wanderings as they wandered nomadically from place to place in Australia to find out where it was good to eat, if they had food that was good to eat. They didn't have any settlements for a long, long time. When I first heard the didgeridoo, it was that earth voice that appealed to me. It was something strange, exotic, something different, something I hadn't encountered before. And it didn't take me long to want to get one and learn to play it. That was in 1998, and I've been learning ever since. After a couple of years, we actually went to Australia where there was a cultural sharing festival, and I got to sit in a class, a master class of didgeridoo with Jalo Guruwibi, who is, if you're a didgeridoo player, that's a name. You played with Jalo? Yes, I did. And he taught me some things. I'm going to play a song that he taught me. I'll say a few things first about the didgeridoo before I stop talking and start playing. You notice that there are no keys, no valves, no finger holes. It's pretty much a one-note instrument. There's a few overtone toots that you can use for rhythmic accents, but you don't play tunes on it. Instead, by varying the shape of your mouth, by using your breath, your tongue, your cheeks, you create rhythms and you create tones to evoke the various sounds and feelings of nature. You vocalize into it to imitate the birds and animals, for example. One feature that you'll hear every didgeridoo player using is circular breathing. You say, how can you do that? What does that mean? Well, it means you're not really inhaling and exhaling at the same time, that you pause once in a while, blowing from your lungs, and you use what's trapped in your mouth to keep the sound going while you inhale through your nose. And it's a coordination stunt that you learn. You may have seen saxophone players do it, play a long note that they hold as they walk around. That's to be admired. That's circular breathing, and they do it very convincingly. You'd think they're not breathing, but they are. And so will I be when I play. What am I going to play? Well, I never play the same thing twice. There's no way to write this music down so that it makes sense to anybody except for the rhythms. And so you play what's in your heart. I'd like to play the first piece, one that Jalo taught me, one that he wrote. I have his permission. It's called wuduku, and wuduku is their word for mangrove driftwood that breaks off during the rainy season and washes down into the sea and bobs around in the tide and is blown around by the wind, and it represents the souls of the departed looking for their final resting place. Since we're going to be starting out down on the coast in the wetlands, we'll stay in the wetlands for a while, and I'll do a brolga. A brolga is a tall, stately crane, pretty tall, gray with a red head, and they have a raucous call. But a wonderful mating dance. We didn't get to see the mating dance, so we certainly heard them when we were there. Next, again, since we're still in the wetlands, I'll do a bullfrog, croaking from the billabong. Then we need to move to the dry red center, not so as we don't give that part of Australia short shrift. And the wind blows around, the dust blows around, and you get dust devils. Willy Willies, they call them. And I do a couple of small ones for you. You won't have to worry about your purses or your hairdos. They'll stay neatly arranged as they are now. And finally, the little bird in the eastern part of the top end of Australia. The kookaburra is a little bird with a big voice. It's a kingfisher type bird, but he likes to announce his presence with a sort of a laugh. And the people of the Kuku-Yulanji tribe call him Dika-Daka, which is their word for uncontrollable laughing. He's also called the laughing jackass, and you'll hear why. Could you hear this all right?